Hey everybody, Mr. Charles here, and we are going to do a lesson today about leadership and what qualities you should look for in a leader. This goes along with our mock elections that we've been doing the last couple of weeks. I'm very proud of all of you for getting out there and voicing your opinions and getting your votes out. Voting is such an incredibly important skill in your adult life. It's something that is very relevant right now. Your parents are all going through something very similar. So it's nice that you get to kind of go through the same type of process and understand what that is and what the importance of it is. So far, we've worked through our primaries. We've broken down the primary elections, and we do have two candidates from each of the parties, the Disney Party and the Pixar Party, one each going to the general election, which we'll talk a little bit about we'll talk more about in a little bit. I'm going to share my screen here. And we're talking about what makes a good leader. One important note here is that it's incredibly important to know your own beliefs when going into a voting process. Voting is such an important decision, and it's a decision that shouldn't be made based on what others tell you to believe. It's your responsibility, and it's really important that you know what you believe. Voting is a very important decision that affects a lot of people, not just yourself. So you want to make sure you're informed on what it is you're voting for, who it is you're voting for. And another thing to remember is that everybody's viewpoints and beliefs are going to be different from one another. They'll have some similar beliefs, but everyone's going to have some differences in opinion, and that's okay. A good leader, we're going to talk a lot about the qualities of a good leader, but a good leader works hard to respect others' viewpoints and tries to find a common ground that best serves the people. So they don't just shut people down because their beliefs are different. It's about respecting each other and giving each other the respect that you might believe something a little bit differently than I do, and that's okay. And we can discuss that, and we can debate each of our feelings, and maybe we can find a common ground between the two. So some qualities of a good leader. I have 5 qualities here. Now there's many qualities that do make a good leader, but these 5 are very important ones. The first one being honesty and integrity. So to be honest is to tell the truth at all times. There's a little difference in honesty and integrity, because while honesty is to tell the truth at all times, integrity is to tell the truth even when it's hard, even when it's ugly. It's an ugly truth. It's not something you want to tell or you would like to be out, but you do it anyways because you have integrity. It's the right thing to do. The second quality of a good leader is hard work. And I have a quote on here. It says, "A smart leader who does not work hard will eventually reach a point where they fail." It doesn't matter how smart you are. If you're not willing to work hard, you'll eventually reach a point where you fail. The quote continues, "However, a hardworking leader will find a way to overcome whatever obstacle lies in their path." They may not be the smartest leader, but if you're out there and you're the hardest worker, the hardest working leader, you never stop fighting for what's right for the people that you serve, then you'll find a way to overcome whatever obstacles lie in your path. The next quality of a good leader is to have clear goals. Goals should emphasize results, not efforts. And they should also be clear and attainable. A lot of times you hear people who are trying to be leaders say what they plan to do, what they would like to do. It's better to go in as a leader and have a plan to achieve something, not just an ideal plan of what you would like to get done, but how you plan on getting it done. Those are the types of goals that are very clear, that are more attainable because there's an actual blueprint on how you plan on achieving it. Next quality of a good leader would be Clear communication. Information and ideas and goals, these should all be communicated both clearly and frequently to the people that you serve, the people that are helping you achieve those goals. The reason being is that clear communication motivates those who are leading and being led to continue to fight to achieve those goals. If I come out and I maybe give you some information and then I wait a few months, and the people who are being led by me, if they don't know what's going on, they're not going to be able to fight to achieve those goals. We want to be able to work together as a team, as a unified force, to be able to achieve something that's the better for the betterment of our people. So the more a leader communicates that information and those ideas and those goals, the better, the more unified everybody can become. And the last quality here we're going to talk about is to focus on those that they serve. A good leader, yes, has their own. A good leader should make decisions based on what is best for the people that they serve, regardless of their own personal feelings at times. Of course, any leader goes in with an idea of what they want to get done. They have their own plan on what they think's best for the people. But if that doesn't match the facts sometimes of what's actually best for the people, a good leader would do what's best for the people that they serve. And as mentioned before, an effective leader understands that everyone has slightly differing viewpoints. It's not about forcing your own beliefs onto people. Leadership is about finding the middle grounds and never stopping the fight for what is best for your people. So having those qualities of a leader in our minds, let's take a look at our two candidates for our election. We have from the Disney Party, that moved on from the primaries. They bypassed Maleficent and Cruella de Vil. They bypassed Moana and Maui. We have presidential candidate Timon. Now, some characteristics for Timon are that he's very loyal. He's incredibly smart. He is very charismatic. He's a good speaker. He's also good-hearted. He wants to go out and he helps Simba in his efforts to save the Pride Lands. And Timon's also very resourceful, and I'm going to play you a video in just a moment on how he is resourceful. One con for Timon is that he can be self-centered. When Simba first came into he and Pumbaa's life, they decided to take him in. He was just a cub, which on the surface seems like that was a very selfless thing to do. But when you get down into beyond the surface into the reasoning why he took Simba in, it was mostly to provide himself and Pumbaa the protection. It was to have this lion on their side. So it was more self-centered. It was for his own personal interest. Now down the line, he definitely changes in that motivation because Simba became family, and that's kind of where the selflessness does start to come out in Timon, where he has to begin putting himself in danger in order to help Simba, in order to save the Pride Lands. Those are for the betterment of the Pride Lands, not himself, and yet he goes out and does that anyways. So he does go through a little bit of an evolution through the process. But one thing I want to focus on for Timon is how resourceful he is. I'm going to play a quick video here. Let me stop sharing my screen.
Need more time, honey?
Timon, what are you doing?
Shenzi Marie Predatora Veldetta Jacquelina Hyena. Would you do me the honor of
Becoming my bride.
I don't think so. Shenzi Marie, please. I know what you're thinking. We're too different. It'll never work. What will the children look like? Oh, that violates so many laws of nature. Listen to me. The problems of a couple of wacky kids like us don't amount to a hill of termites in this nutty circle of life thing. And so I ask you, if not now, when? If not me, who? I'm lonesome. Can I be your best man? I say we skip the wedding and go straight to the buffet.
So as you can see, in terms of being smart and resourceful, Timon had a goal in mind. His goal was to stall the hyenas. He was stalling. This is from Lion King 1.5, which some of you probably may have not seen. He's stalling the hyenas in order to allow his mom time to complete whatever she was working on. And with that goal in mind, they tried something. He and Puma did. They tried spinning the dishes on the sticks, and when that didn't work, he knew he had to try something different. So then they tried singing and dancing, and when that didn't work, they tried something different. And he had to really think outside the box. He had to think about what's really going to get these hyenas to pause for a moment. And what it was is he decided to get down on his knees and propose to one of the hyenas, and it paused them just long enough. It still didn't work 100% in the end, but it paused them long enough so that his mom was able to complete her task. He was resourceful as a leader. So moving on, that's our a lot about our Disney presidential candidate Timon. We're going to talk a little bit about our Pixar presidential candidate Woody. Now Woody is incredibly experienced. He's been the sheriff for 20 plus years. He has the experience going into this election here. He's also very strong-willed. When he sets his mind on something, he's gonna make sure that he achieves it. He deeply cares for the toys that he leads. Woody's also very selfless. There's times throughout the Toy Story movies that he has to put himself at danger. He has to almost sacrifice himself in order to save the other toys. And he's very inspirational. We're going to watch a little video in a moment about how Woody inspires the toys that he's working with. One con for Woody, because it's important to look at not just what's good about a candidate, it's important to look at what negative attributes they have as well, is that Woody can be impulsive when his emotions run high. Woody was very connected to Andy when a new toy came into the mix, being Buzz Lightyear, and that seemed to threaten the dynamic of Woody's life. Woody's title as the favorite toy, he became quite impulsive. He lashed out. He tried to get rid of Buzz Lightyear because he was trying to save himself and his own title. So he can be quite impulsive when his emotions run high. He does end up, obviously, turning along the road, and he and Buzz became besties, and Buzz, close enough that Buzz became Woody's vice presidential candidate here in our election. But one thing as far as Woody's leadership goes that I want to focus on is how he inspires the other toys. So I'm going to play you another video. All right, and here we go. Oh, why is it not playing?
Hey, Buzz! Get over here and see if you can get this toolbox off me. Come on, Buzz.
can't help anyone.
Well, sure you can, Buzz.
I'm not a space ranger. Just a toy, a stupid, little, insignificant toy.
Whoa, hey, wait a minute. Being a toy is a lot better than being a space ranger.
Yeah.
No, it is. Look, over in that house is a kid who thinks you are the greatest, and it's not because you're a space ranger, pal. It's because you're a toy. You are his toy.
Why would Andy want?
Why would Andy want you? Look at you. You're a Buzz Lightyear. Any other toy would give up his moving parts just to be you. You've got wings. You glow in the dark. You talk. Your helmet does that whoosh thing. You are a cool toy.
So as you can see, Woody took a toy that he's working with, being Buzz Lightyear, someone who's typically very confident, very headstrong himself. But Buzz was down in the dumps. He was feeling down on himself. He was feeling unmotivated. He wasn't able to achieve the goal that they set together on escaping. And what Woody did was he inspired Buzz. He talked him up. He talked him off of feeling so bad about himself, and he motivated him to get back on track, to help work together as a team so that they could achieve that goal. And these, not just that, but all the qualities that we talked about today, these are all qualities that it would be wonderful to see in a leader. Every single leader has their own positive attributes, but they also have their own negative attributes. That's just human nature. Nobody's perfect at anything. But it's important, like I said, when you are going through a voting process like our parents recently have, like we are currently with our election here, it's important to do your due diligence, to make sure you're knowledgeable about the characteristics of the people you're voting for. What kind of leader will they be? How those characteristics will apply to a leadership role. And once you have that, you can be knowledgeable in going into the voting process, and you can feel confident in the choice that you make because you know that the beliefs you have researched and you've learned about are the beliefs of your own beliefs. So I hope this was helpful. Later this week and going into early next week, we're actually going to have our general election. We're going to have ballots come out again today. This time, the ballots we had before were for the primaries, and the ballots that'll be coming out now will be for the general election. It'll just be between Woody and Buzz Lightyear versus Timon and Pumbaa. And I hope that this has helped you become more knowledgeable in who you might be voting for in the future. Hope you guys all are doing well. We miss you very much at school. We hope to see you again soon, and have a great day.